What we see here is unacceptable. Our police force cannot be compromised. Our fire brigade cannot be compromised. Our green initiatives cannot be compromised, and our transport infrastructure cannot be compromised. I will not tolerate that. Next, I must say this. Bailouts are not the answer. Bailouts are not the answer. It's never the right answer to ask the government for more help. The solution is getting London back to work. We need to make decisions based on our geography and based on our demography to get London back to work safely. So let's protect our elderly. Let's protect those most vulnerable, but let's get the young people back to work and let's get this city back to where we don't have these budget deficits. Again, it's very, very important. As your next mayor of London, I will focus on the economy. The economy is the bedrock of all of this. With a strong economy, we have tax revenues. I don't need your money to pay for the transport. When the economy is running, you're making money. You can pay for all the infrastructure build that you need. You can help build businesses that will create more tax revenues. You can help provide the solutions to our mental health issues, to our lost generation. Yesterday in the studio, I had Luke Johnson on the show, who is the former chairman of Channel 4, who's the former chairman of Pizza Express, who's the chairman of Risk Equity Partners, who runs some of the biggest hospitality venues in the country. And he said to me, Brian, quote, "The economy is us. You cannot divorce the two or you will pay a steep price." And I couldn't agree with Luke more. Every single business leader that I've spoken to here at London Real over the past few weeks, which by the way, is more business leaders than our current mayor or our prime minister has spoken to, I guarantee. So I have my finger on the pulse with what real business leaders are saying. Luke said to me, he said, Brian, economists don't create jobs, entrepreneurs create them. And he said, this campaign of fear that our government has led is wrong. He said, we need to stop the fear. We need to find solutions to get people back to work because it's the entrepreneurs that create jobs. And I couldn't agree with Luke more and all the other leaders that I've spoken to, from Simon Woodruff, one of our Dragon's Den members, to Luke Johnson, to all of the other entrepreneurs that I've spoken to, from Alan Sugar to the rest. They all say the same thing. We must get London back to work. And not only can we have both our health and our economy, but we must have both. We need to have our citizens' health and our businesses working for us, which is why this, as your next mayor of London, I pledge to you to get London back to work. And again, these aren't just empty words and promises. I've got a specific bullet point plan, and you can see all of my policy plans in detail on my website at brianformayor.london. You can go there right now and read them, and I'm going to have more details and more videos coming soon. But my Get Back to London work plan of attack looks like this. First, we create a 6-month post-lockdown congestion charge holiday by removing these prohibitive taxation in order to promote as many visits to London as possible and boost the economy. I disagree with the mayor who wants to increase the congestion rate from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night to weekends. How are we going to get our business back if you do that? I'm going to create the congestion charge holiday, but I'm not going to stop there. Next, I'm going to create a 6-month post-lockdown business rates holiday. We're going to slash business rates to 0 across the board for all small and medium-sized enterprises in Greater London for 6 months. That's how you kickstart the economy. Next, I'm going to stimulate key sectors with expanded financial packages, specifically in restaurants, cafes, nightclubs, retail, and the hotel sector here in London. Next, I'm going to encourage the return of office workers to the world's financial capital by speaking with the top global financial services companies on how we can safely bring back 25% of their office workers. I know we can do that. I've worked at these banks. We need to speak with these leaders and find out what's it going to take to get these people back in the offices. I was speaking with my taxi driver last night, Ahmed Rage. His last name is R-A-G-E. I said Rage, that's a cool name. He said it's Rage. He's from Somalia. He's been here for 20 years. And I said, Ahmed, let me guess, you've got no more fares in the city of London. He said, Brian, it's dried up. Nobody's working in this city. All the finance people have gone home. I said, Ahmed, I know these people. I can speak with these CEOs and we can find a way to get 25% of their workers, their younger workers, safely back in this city, and we can kickstart the economy. But what does our current mayor of London do? He crusades for a lockdown. He's been begging to shut this country down for months, and he's going to keep it locked down for the next months and probably years if he can have his way. He's going to ask you for billions of pounds more in taxpayer spending, and he's going to blame it on our prime minister. And the same record is going to repeat itself for years and years again. We've got to break this cycle. Again, I want to further on with my Get London Back to Work plan. I'm going to implement new science-based protocols for retail establishments to deal with COVID-19 responsibly, but stay safe in business. I'm going to safely open up our theaters, museums, concert arenas, and stadiums. I've had people like John Morgan here in this studio from the Theaters Trust to talk about how we can open up theaters. Did you know for every £1 someone from the UK spends at a theater here in London, they spend 82 additional pounds in the capital on taxis, on restaurants, on drinks, on retail expenditures? All we have to do is get him back in here, and John Morgan has the answer. He just needs to be empowered by the Mayor of London. Next, I want to allow outdoor seating and the use of our streets for all retail and hospitality businesses here in London. Again, I was out speaking with Peter Dorr-Smith of the retail establishment Caffeine recently on the streets, and he said, Brian, I'm trying to get the Council of Westminster to allow me to have these tables on the streets. They want to charge me £2,000 a month. That's ridiculous. We need to empower these leaders, not charge them, and allow them to put these outdoor seating so they can stay in business and keep these jobs in our city. Peter, I want to empower people just like you. Next, I want to get our children back to school, which is going to promote all of the surrounding businesses and infrastructures around our schools, around our teachers, around the school supplies, everything around there. And I want to do that because that's going to also promote the greater economy. So again, these are my specific Get London Back to Work policies. And I'll challenge you to do one thing. Find me one other candidate for mayor that has detailed policies like I do to get London back to work. And on that same note, let me ask you another question. Those people currently running for mayor, they've had 20 years to work on their policies, and yet I don't see any intelligent policies. I've had 3 months and I've got detailed policies on exactly how we can get this city back to work. And it doesn't stop there. I've got science first, health first, education first, family first. I've got detailed policies on exactly how we can get this city back functioning again. And look, this all comes down to one thing. I love London. I've always loved this city. Ever since I first visited here back in 1987, when my mom brought me here from San Diego on, yes, your typical European vacation holiday. I was here with my brother and sister, and I loved this city immediately. When I first moved here in 1997 to work in finance in the city, I fell in love with this city. I love this city so much, I called my show London Real after this city because it means so much. My 2 sons were born in this city. I'm a citizen of Britain and have been since 2007, and I plan to be buried in this great city. But I'm tired of watching our current crop of politicians run this city into the ground. I will not accept it anymore, and what I want to see is this one simple thing. I want to make London a world-class city once again, period. I know I can do it. I know I have the solution. I know exactly the policies to put into place, and what I need is your help to make this happen.